face the issue of African unity now. For only unity will make the artificial boundaries and regional demarcations imposed by colonialism obsolete and superfluous. African unity will thus provide an effective remedy for border disputes and internation troubles.
Jaga the whole world in his hand, Jaga the whole world in his hand, Jaga the whole world in his hand, Jaga the whole world in his hand. Jaga the father and the mother in his hand, Jaga the sister and the brother in his hand, they got the uncle and the auntie in his hand, Jaga the whole world in his hand.
Yes,
Jaga the whole world in his hand, Jaga the whole world in his hand, Jaga the whole world in his hand, Jaga the whole world in his hand.
Yes,
He got the king and the queen in his hand. He got the prince and the princess in his hand. He got the wife and the husband in his hand. Jaga the whole world in his hand.
Yes,
Jaga the whole world in his hand. 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 Holy Mount Zion, 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 the Holy Mount Zion, Zion, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, go before so great, God and do thy work, thyself. Thou art the word, man, in all flesh of all people. And to thee we bow, and bless thy name, O Most High God. God, thou art terrible out of all the places. The God of Israel is he that giveth strength and power unto his people. Blessed be God, Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, my Lord.
Black over white is ever right. Black supremacy stand, white supremacy go. Black man first, white man second, said our Father, mighty full Father. Holy Emmanuel I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. So lift up your heads, black people. Our redemption draweth nigh. Redemption draweth nigh, said the Most High. Hail I, Selassie I, Jah, Rastafari. Bless the Lord, my Lord, and Prince of Princes. Thanks. And a warm heart of welcome to all our viewers. True heart of celebration to the worldwide family of Rastafari. As we celebrate Black African Liberation Day, we endorse the coming together of all African sons and daughters to one unity at home and abroad. We will also highlight the significance of unifying all states of Africa. The basic definition of liberation is the setting free of someone or something. The liberation of a place or the people in it means the freeing of them from political, psychological, military, and all forms of control from another country, area, or group of people. For this purpose, the OAU was formed to promote the unity and solidarity of African states. Also, to encourage our coordination and intensify our cooperation and efforts to achieve a better life for African people at home and abroad. So in today's program, we will proclaim the importance of African unity and the history, aims, and objectives of the OAU. So we take great pleasure providing our viewers with Black Truth entertainment and historical facts of our Black leaders' establishment. I, the Research Action Committee, is once again well pleased to present another inspirational delight. Black Heart of Love, full joy the program. My Lord, my Empress, Prince and Princess, Heart of Celebration, Heart of Black African Liberation.
Continue with our presentation with some historical background concerning African liberation. May 25th, 1963 marks a significant and important day in the history of Africa, the people, and as a continent. This was the day of the formation of the Organization of African Unity, OAU, and the end of colonial ruling by Europeans in Africa. It was a meeting of the 32 free states of Africa who had at that point been victorious in the battle for freedom from colonization and the colonial imperial masters. The Organization of African Unity was somewhat of a compromise between two schools of thought at that time. Honorable Kwame Nkrumah, a young fiery student of the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey's philosophy, demanded immediate unification of the free states, while our divine Emperor Haile Selassie, the father of African unity, took the part of taking time to afford the assimilation of the many different cultures, languages, and traditions of the people of Africa, and to assist the struggle of those states still fighting for independence. So the OAU became the organ to liberate the continent of Africa from all colonial powers. This was its first and original mandate. The fall of the South African apartheid system brought an end to the first mandate of the OAU, the total liberation of the African continent. So the OAU was finished, our purpose was fulfilled, and the second aspect, the job of decolonization and the unification, was now the work of the new organ, the African Union. This was established in 2002 and is the hope of all Africans at home and abroad, the best hope to see a united Africa emerge. While we celebrate this African Liberation Day, let us be grateful to those of our ancestors who sowed the seeds of thought, meditation, and mindset that would manifest in the culmination of victory of Africans over our colonizers and the ideology of colonization. Martin Delaney, Edward Blyden, George Padmore, and many others, sowed that meditation, that seed that brought the Honorable Prophet Marcus Garvey to historical highlight. He becoming the most successful Pan-African philosopher and become teacher of the leaders of the African Liberation Movement. Kwame Nkrumah, Jomo Kenyatta, Julius Nyerere, and all the freedom fighters were all students of the idea of African nationalism that was taught by the Honorable Prophet. As Rastafari today, we can rejoice in the contribution of I to the evolving unification of the continent of Africa and to the decolonization of our people. Those songs of freedom, the Rastaman chant for equal rights and justice, for Africa, for the Africans at home and abroad, was the Rastaman culture strengthening the Zimbabwe soldiers in their armed struggle for freedom. It was the many letters and documents sent to all heads of government and bodies of leadership in world powers, sent by the Rastaman, the High Priest, the Black Christ, the Honorable King Emmanuel Charles Edwards, agitating for human rights and justice for all Africans. This was the voice that the Honorable Mr. Nelson Mandela referred to when he said that Jamaica was one of the loudest voices he heard against apartheid while in prison. Liberating the mind of the African from European colonizers and the religious colonizers is now the state of liberation struggle that we are present in today. The transition from the worship of a white man, blue-eyed Jesus, to a black deity in the person of Haile Selassie is one of the Rastafari's contribution to the mental and spiritual development of the emerging African. Recognizing divine beings amongst our own race, listening to the message, and by example, living and releasing the power of the Most High within ourselves is the foundation of our victory of good over evil. The unity we strive for today as Africans must be beyond the basics of economics, political, and security needs. We must unite spiritually to solve the challenges that face us as a spiritual people now. We must also look about our humanness and our value of life. While these Europeans, the gods of war and death, plan to eliminate 2/3 of our human population, mostly non-Europeans, I Africans, who are humanity's parents, must develop our own sciences and technology, our own moral construct for the preservation of life for all. A quote by His Imperial Majesty Haile Selassie I says, "Ethiopians, have courage and brace yourselves. Unless you improve your lot by the sweat of your brow, nobody will be responsible for you."
Fellow freedom fighters, comrades and friends, it is my great pleasure to welcome you to Accra and to this conference of African freedom fighters and supporters of the growing movement for Africa's liberation and unity. It is good for our cause to have a periodic meeting of this kind to examine our position in the great struggle to rid Africa completely and forever of imperialism and its handmaidens, colonialism and neocolonialism. Africa is rich and not poor. As the great wealth that has been taken out of our continent over 5 centuries of spoliation and extortion very well proves. Africa has immense actual and potential wealth. gold, diamond, copper, manganese, bauxite, iron ore, uranium, asbestos, chrome, cobalt, a host of other minerals. Our essential agricultural produce have all been drained away by colonialist imperialism. Africa is far from being poor. It is Africans who are poor, not Africa. And they are poor because of the uncounted profit that has been made out of the exploitation of their labor and their lands. If we are being baited to enter a European community, we must have something that community needs, and needs badly, when it pretends to offer a bonus by way of aid. When Greeks come bearing grapes, should we not look them well in the mouth? If I may mix my metaphor, but I'm sure you get my meaning. I raise this point so that it will stay in your minds when you may be tempted by the seductive promises of new colonialism to forget the real character of colonialist imperialism and be persuaded away from your own true interests and those of Africa. For today, we must each see ourselves as part of Africa in order that we may face colonialist imperialism and its new form, neo-colonialism, on a continent-wide front. This requires some plain speaking. And for the sake of Africa, let us speak plainly.
Holy Emmanuel I Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, I, my Lord and Empress, do give thanks for yet another blessed day. My Lord and Empress, do give thanks. Yes, my Lord and Empress, we do give thanks to you for yet another blessed one. Give thanks to you for the celebration. Give thanks to you for the celebration of African Liberation Day, where we all became free. Free from colonial rule. Give thanks to him for His Majesty Kwame Nkrumah. Other African leaders coming together, to fulfill such demands. Most High Jah, Rastafari, my Lord and Empress. Continue and read. As we are about to conclude our African Liberation Day program, it's customary that we give an analysis on what was edified to us. We acknowledge that unity emphasizes the creative power of collective thought in a body of people. The Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey rightfully declared in his famous speech, "Liberate the minds of men, and ultimately you will liberate the bodies of men." This is the inspirational achievement we are seeking for our people, a blissful mind state attained after the destruction of karmic bonds. Freedom of thought and freedom to express ourselves. No bondage, no slavery. Freedom to embrace our ethnicity and cultural values. Freedom from colonial ruling and influences which only result in the standard of Western world conformity status. Freedom from economic exploitation of poor people and the so-called lower class minorities. Liberation transcends the eradication of all constraints and the preferential options for the oppressed minorities of the methodological eclecticism. Everyone deserves equal rights and justice. Liberty means freedom from arbitrary and unreasonable restraints upon any individual or body of people. Freedom, redemption, and international repatriation shall always be our mission until Africa is free. United we stand, divided we fall. Unity is our only accepted goal. I repeat, unity is our only accepted goal. full solidarity that our actions and declarations are in unison. Unite, organize, or perish. One God, one aim, one destiny, said the Honorable Prophet John Marcus I. Selassie I. Jah Rastafari. So I leave you with 7 words of love. God is love. Let us all love, my Lord and Majesty. So I, just saying, give thanks for I solidarity. Give thanks that I even standing with Captain Ibrahim Traore at this hour, at this time, as he liberate Africa from all colonial rule. Jah Rastafari reigns.
Leaders of nations, distinguished representatives of peoples great and small, I greet you not as a career diplomat, nor as a man bred for banquet halls and handshakes. I do not come to you speaking the rehearsed language of polished politics. I come to you as a soldier of my people, as a guardian of a wounded land, as a son of a continent that has carried the cross of the world, yet has never worn its crown. My name is Captain Ibrahim Traore, President of Burkina Faso, and today I speak not only for the 22 million souls in my nation, but for a continent whose stories have been twisted, whose pain has been ignored, and whose dignity has been repeatedly auctioned off at the altar of foreign interests. Africa is not Tobago. Africa is not a battlefield. Africa is not your experiment, your puppet, your warehouse of raw materials. Africa is rising not to kneel, but to stand. And today I say before this great assembly of nations, Africa will not kneel, one on the false generosity of global politics. For decades you have sent us aid with one hand while extracting our lifeblood with the other. You build wells in our villages while your corporations drain our rivers. You donate vaccines, yet patent the cures. You speak of climate action, yet continue to fund the very forces that burn our forests and dry our lakes. What kind of generosity is this? The kind that feeds the mouth but silences the voice. The kind that keeps a man alive just enough to keep him dependent. We are not blind to this hypocrisy. Let me be clear, we are not ungrateful for sincere humanitarian assistance, but we reject a global order that disguises exploitation as partnership. We reject financial institutions that lend with one hand and steal sovereignty with the other. Africa no longer wants charity. We want justice. We want control over our own destinies. Too on the chains of colonialism and its modern descendants. Our wounds did not begin with us. They were inherited legacies of an empire-building madness that saw us not as humans, but cheap as cargo laboratories. My ancestors were not consulted when maps were drawn with rulers and compasses in Berlin. The borders of Burkina Faso, like those of many African nations, were not carved by our ancestors, but by men who had never stepped foot on our soil, who knew nothing about languages, our tribes, or our spirits. Today, colonialism has a new face. It wears suits, it hosts forums, it signs contracts in Geneva and Paris and Washington. But it still takes without consent. It still dictates instead of dialogues. It still silences instead of listening. If you want to talk about peace, then let's begin by unlearning the arrogance that peace is something only you can teach us. 3, on resource exploitation and the myth of development. They call us developing as if the theft of centuries did not set us back. As if the gold from our lands, the diamonds from our rivers, the oil beneath our feet did not build the very skyscrapers in which this assembly sits. Let us speak plainly. Burkina Faso is rich, Africa is rich. Rich in minerals and culture and wisdom and youth. But you have taught us to measure richness in GDP and export value. You call it development when a foreign company owns 90% of a gold mine on our land. You call it progress when your security forces guard cobalt mines but not our children's schools. That is not progress, that is piracy with legal documents. From now on, we will define development on our own terms. Development that puts children in classrooms, not minerals on cargo ships. Development that respects the land, the people, and the soul of a nation. 4, on sovereignty and interference. Why is it that when an African nation makes independent choices, we are called unstable? Why is it that when we seek military cooperation outside the colonial sphere, we are labeled a threat? Burkina Faso has chosen to walk a path of sovereignty that is not a threat to peace. It is a declaration of adulthood. We are no longer under your guardianship. We are no longer your junior partners in diplomacy. We are a free people. If a nation chooses partners that respect it rather than exploit it, that is not rebellion. That is wisdom. Let it be known, no foreign power will dictate the alliances of Burkina Faso. We will build relations based on mutual respect, not historical guilt or present-day intimidation. Fight on terrorism and manufacture wars. You ask why there is violence in the Sahel. You ask why our youth take up arms. But you do not ask who benefits when our minds are guarded by private mercenaries, while our villages are left vulnerable. You do not ask how weapons arrive in deserts that produce no steel. You do not ask why peacekeeping never seems to end the war. The truth is, many of the so-called solutions to African security problems are merely business models. Endless conflict has become a market, and African suffering has become a subscription-based service. Burkina Faso has decided to break that cycle. We will fight terror, but not with dependency. We will secure our nation not with foreign dictates, but with national dignity. 6 on migration and human dignity. We do not want our youth drowning in the Mediterranean. We do not want our brightest minds fleeing the countries that once called us savages. We do not want remittances. We want reasons for our people to stay. Why do our youth flee? Not because we lack beauty, but because we are made to lack opportunity. Not because we hate our land, but because our land is treated as someone else's property. Migration is not a crisis, it is a symptom of wars we did not start, of loans we did not need, of a world order that tells our youth their only value lies outside their own homes. The solution is not border fences. The solution is justice for 7 on Africa's place in the world. Africa is not a mistake to be fixed. Africa is not a failed continent. Africa is the womb of the world, the cradle of civilization, the keeper of tomorrow's hope. We have been made invisible in global decisions that affect us deeply. At the UN Security Council, Africa with 54 sovereign nations has no permanent seat. What justice is this? You call it balance? We call it betrayal. You speak of democracy, yet uphold a global structure where the powerful few veto the dreams of the many. We will no longer whisper in rooms where we deserve to speak with full voice. Aid on faith and spiritual dignity. We are a spiritual people. Before your cathedrals, our ancestors sang to the sky. Before your missionaries, we knew the language of the rivers and the laws of the sacred forest. Christianity came, Islam came, and we received them not as slaves, but as seekers. But now we ask, will the church and the mosque stand with us, truly with us, when all people are displaced by greed, masked as globalization? Will your pulpits echo our cries or only repeat the songs of the powerful? Faith, too, must be decolonized. It must walk with the poor, not the privileged. 9 on unity among African nations. This is not a speech from one country. This is the stirring of a continent. You see Mali, Niger, and Burkina Faso forming a new bond. You fear our unity. Why? Because it threatens the myth that Africa can only rise under your supervision. We are uniting not to wage war, but to wage dignity, to pool our courage, to share strength, to protect each other when the world turns its back. Pan-Africanism is not a dream. It is our lifeline, and we will build it stone by stone, heart by heart, with or without your approval. 10 to the youth of Africa, to the young boy selling oranges by the roadside, to the girl who walks 10 kilometers to attend school, to the child whose only toy is a stone but who dreams of stars. You are the reason we fight. Do not believe the lie that your continent is cursed. You are the blessing. Do not envy foreign passports. Be proud of your name, your land, your roots. The world may not applaud you now, but the future will speak your name in honor. 11 final words: we will not kneel. I do not come to declare war, I come to declare will. So we will not kneel to fear. We will not kneel to foreign banks. We will not kneel to outdated empires masquerading as friends. Africa is not asking for a seat at your table. We are building our own a table where no child eats last, where no nation is silenced because it lacks nuclear arms, where justice is not filtered through the lens of race or history, but shared as breath is shared. This is our vision and this is our vow. Let the world hear it today and always. Africa will not kneel. Thank you.
Continue with hymn 20 and 5 taken from the Zion hymnal, If I Had a Hammer. As my I loved, I warn you, 1 Corinthians 4 verses 1, 4, 14. If I had a hammer, if I had a hammer, I would hammer in the morning, I would hammer in the evening, all over this land.
Out the hammer out danger. Out the hammer out a warning. Out the hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. If I had a bell, I would ring it in the morning. I would ring it in the evening. All over this land, I would ring out danger. I would ring out a warning. I would ring out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. If I had a song, I would sing it in the morning. I would sing it in the evening. All over this land, I would sing out danger. I would sing out a warning. I would sing out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. Well, I've got a hammer and I've got a bell, and I'm going to sing all over this land, Ethiopia, Africa. It's the hammer of justice, it's the bell of freedom, it's the song about love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. If I had a hammer, I would hammer in the morning. I would hammer in the evening. All over this land, I would hammer out danger. I would hammer out a warning. I would hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. If I had a bell, I would ring it in the morning. I would ring it in the evening. All over this land, I would ring out a danger. I would ring out a warning. I would ring out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. If I had a song, I would sing it in the morning. I would sing it in the evening. All over this land, I would sing around danger. I would sing out a warning. I would sing out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. Well, I've got a hammer and I've got a bell, and I'm going to sing all over this land. It's the hammer of justice, it's the bell of freedom, It's the song about love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land. Ola Mount Zion, 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 aye. La Ola Mount Zion, Zion, aye. Ring the bells of Zion, there is joy today, for a soul returning from the wild. See the Father meet him out upon the way, welcoming his weary wandered child. Ring the bells of Zion, there is joy today, for a soul returning from the wild. Selassie, Jah, Rastafari, my Lord and Majesty.